When I tell people it's the most exciting thing I've done.
Yeah.
All these people united together who feel so passionately about something.
Yeah.
And that's what the film and the musical capture.
Should we talk about when it all started?
We had a letter, and I remember us discussing the letter, and there was some confusion at first about lesbians and gays support the miners, or was it London gays support the miners?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, so LGSM. So no, it's lesbians and gays support the miners. Mm-hmm. And the women felt very strongly that if somebody had collected for us, we were going to accept that money and say thank you very much. But I remember, do you remember Little Plum?
No.
You remember Little Plum? He was one of our activists. He was called Little Plum. So Little Plum said, does this mean we'll have to watch men dancing with each other? And we all went, yeah. So.
What was so amazing was that when we came down, the generosity of spirit that we got from this community, who were going through such hardships, but the welcome was just extraordinary. And we were terrified. I mean, I remember, because we were so late arriving.
Didn't you get lost?
We got lost. We got lost.
So
actually, we didn't arrive on the sort of the first evening. And then the next day we were taken in, and, you know, we were just terrified, you know, what was going to happen. And we walked through that door, and there was just suddenly this hush that descended. And one just thought, oh my God, what have we let ourselves? And then somebody started applauding, and then the whole room did. And that was it. We knew we were home. I mean, it was just, it was extraordinary.
I'd love to know, how does it feel about seeing yourself on stage? Because all three of you are characters.
Yeah.
Nobody can help but be proud of seeing an event in your life so long ago be portrayed with such sensitivity today.
Yeah.
It reminds you that at one point in your life you made a right call. And not everybody gets to do that, do they?
Yeah.
But when I do see the sensitive way in which you've portrayed us all, from both sides of LGSM or the South Wales mining families, I feel very moved by it. I feel as moved as anybody watching it for the first time. I feel very humbled by it, but I also feel very grateful.
Yeah.
You get asked this question a lot,
Yeah,
you know, by random strangers,
Yeah.
you know, and they say, did you like being portrayed? How did you feel? Did they capture you? I find it difficult to relate, because to me, the film is a document of all the people who are no longer with us. But it's also an affirmation of what wonderful friendships.
Yeah.
So it portrays a time that is, in a sense, bittersweet. There are times where we laughed, there are times where we cried, and the film and the musical capture that. And I've seen the film now. I haven't seen it as many times as certain people have seen it, Jonathan, but I've seen the film all over the world and seen it with, you know, dubbed into different languages, like Spanish and Italian and Turkish even. But the whole thing is, people laugh and cry in the right spots.
Yeah. That was something that was important to me in writing the musical, is that, and it's, I'm always a bit confused when people tell stories like this and they leave out the jokes, because to me, one of the primary things about this story, and it happened the minute I first came and spoke to any of the people involved, my first trip to Wales, we just roared with laughter. You remember, you and me sat in the tea room of the House of Commons, wiping away tears. It's fun. There was a lot of fun. There was a lot of course, it's a dark time. It's an incredibly difficult time. It's a hugely painful part of our national history. There was a vast division in the country. And yet in that, and in all adversity, people are singing and people are laughing.
When I tell people it's the most exciting thing I've done.
Yeah, right.
You know, that's cool. All these people united together who feel so passionately about something.
Yeah.
And that's what the film and the musical capture.
In this version of yourself, Jonathan, you disco dance And you tap
And I
dance.
tap dance. I mean,
How does that feel? How was that to watch that?
oh, listen, I could die happy. You know, that. I mean, I have to say that Samuel is just sensational.
Well, they-
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
really. I mean, just, you know, if I could embody what he embodies, you know, I mean, I love your film.
Yeah.
Because sort of, you know, you have created this persona and I have to live up to it.
Yes, sorry.
God, it is hard. And now it is going to be even harder because one of the first people sort of, you know, questions that people ask is, and did you dance on the table? And I have to say no.
Yeah.
But it
You know,
seems forward. Because people say, how much is true, don't they? And
Yeah,
I say,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
about 80-20, and then I give those examples of the bits. We didn't all live in the same street.
No, for example.
You know,
Yeah,
for example.
yeah.
But
And he didn't dance on the table.
Yeah.
And-
But now they're going to
but-
say,
but-
is it true that you tap dance?
yeah, well, I mean, sort of, you know.
Do you think it might be an idea to take up
Take
lessons?
lessons.
Well, I think I am. I better come back down to in line.
Actually, Siân Life does a tap class. Let's show it.
Yeah, I'm sure that they do.
We'll do it together.
Perfect.
Come on.
I would love that.
Deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Deal.
That's great.